Are you ready to have a cloud-chasing, vapor production, flavor off the charts, crazy coil build experience like you have never had before? I hope so, because that's what today's video is about. Hey, it's your boy, Gabe from Light Designs. It's good to see you. How are things going?
Leave your entries in the subreddit pros, and I'll watch submissions in the next episode of Why.
So a couple videos ago on the show, I did a review for the Titan RDA tank crazy potluck dinner oven atomizer. This, if you didn't know, is my all-time favorite atomizer. There's a link to my review and where you can get it down in the description below. But you may or may not have noticed in my review that there wasn't a build in my review. I didn't show me building in it, and that is because I wanted to make my own separate video on making the craziest possible build that I could come up with on the fly for this atomizer, and that's what today's video is. And I came up with the super staple extravaganza coil. It's really crazy, but the vapor production is insane. The flavor production is unreal. Flavor production, like, listen, this is a crazy cloud chasing. The cloud production on this coil is fantastic, but the flavor production, oh my gosh. Hold on tight, my guy. I'm throwing you a life raft of flavor. Oh, before we dive up close real quick, I just want to say thank you to everyone who came and saw me perform at Soulfest. And don't worry, I filmed a bunch of product reviews while I was up there. I did a vape mail episode. I also filmed a full vlog of my adventures and shenanigans, as well as my full performance, which you can see in the background there. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out. I met so many subscribers, and so many people came out to the show, and it was fantastic. So thank you so much for coming out and supporting my music and the videos, and it really meant a lot to me to meet you guys in person and talk to you, and it was just really great. In the description below is a link to a survey that Soulfest sent out about this year's Soulfest and who do you want to see at 2019 Soulfest, and I'd love to come back in 2019. So if you guys could click onto that survey and fill it out, I believe it takes like 4 or 5 minutes. It's really quick. It would mean a lot to me because I'd love to come back and do it all over again, even bigger, next year. And I promise I will update the drivers on my graphics card. I'm sorry. Anyways, with all that being said, I'll show you how I built this crazy coil. So to start things off, we are going to be grabbing 5 pieces of Kanthal ribbon wire. And you want to cut them, I don't know, like 2 feet-ish. I feel like anything more than that would be kind of difficult to work with. And for these first steps here, we are essentially going to be making a staple coil. So I'm going to be taking the 5 pieces and stacking them on one another, and then trying to line them up real nice. From there, a helpful tip I do when making staple coils or complex coils is I apply these jacket clips. It really helps hold down the wire, and I like them a lot. I think they're cool and beneficial. Great for your health. Great way to stay in shape. So now I'm gonna bend an L into the end of these the ribbon wire. And ribbon wire is super slippery, so you want to tighten it down super tight in the chuck of your drill. Next, I'm going to be cutting the ribbon wire so they're all the same size, and how I normally measure this is I'll just cut them all to the same size as the smallest one, and that helps everything stay nice and secure together when you secure it down in the coil jig. And I just kind of shove it in there, and then I loop, swoop, and pull, and then my shoes after that are normally looking pretty cool. After that, I'm going to be attaching some 34 gauge stainless steel onto our ribbon wire, and I'm just going to be making a staple coil essentially. And then my coil jig bearing in my fishing swivel seized up and ruined my wire and my day.
The new Super Dish, the box is went with a sleek, sexy blend of aerodynamics and awesome. It looks like Joe Camel had a baby with a...
Welcome back. To fix that, I'm going to be using some wire that I am not going to be using again, because you definitely don't want to reuse your wire that you use this with. And attach the wire to the coil jig and the drill. And now I'm going to be getting some spray lubricant. Also lay down a paper towel to so you don't get spray lubricant all over where you like to work on coils, because yeah, you definitely don't want this on your wire, and that's I'm not going to be using this wire again. Anyway, so I'm going to be lightly spinning the drill and spraying the lubricant into the spinny ball bearing points. Don't go crazy with it because it will spray everywhere, and my solution for really getting it in there and getting the excess out is to wrap a paper towel around it like a big burrito. And then you can go as fast as you want with your drill, and it will splatter the oil, or lubricant rather, everywhere inside of the paper towel, and it won't get everywhere. And then after a few seconds, you should be ready to go. So now you need to completely redo this entire process again, cutting 5 pieces of ribbon wire and then making them into a staple coil. Moving along here, clapped it in this wire, you know, that don't impress me much. You got the look, but do you something? Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think you're all right. You know, she was out there with that big hat box. I think I would be more concerned about like water, and all these dudes are coming out there. Like I would have taken the ride. Anyways,
That don't impress me much.
so next you want to grab a gallon of purified drinking water or room temperature spring water. Main thing is it has to be room temperature. Next I'm going to be grabbing my favorite beta solution and adding 14 drips per gallon and giving it a good shake. After I've added 14 drips, you know, really shake it on up. Next I'm going to be grabbing a small container. It could be Ziploc, it could be Rubbermaid. The manufacturer of the container is irrelevant. I'm going to be filling up my beta solution into this container. Once the lid is removed, I'm going to grab the very scary blue net and scooping up my fish as gently as possible. I promise this matters to making the coil. While he's in his temporary habitat, I'm going to take the tank and fully clean it, and then Gravy the fish will stay in his little container and have an existential crisis. Once you and Midna have escaped that weird sewer area, I'm going to refill our tank here. Now, this part isn't mandatory. I like to do this. I like to add in a couple drips, just 1 or 2 drips to the beta solution, because there's still unsoluted water from cleaning all of the rocks in the inside of the tank. And I want to make sure our little friend here is nice and safe. And now I'm gonna capture him in the very scary blue net. It's terrifying. So he's gonna get in there. Do your best to not freak him out too much. Put him back into the room temperature water, and yeah.
Who that boy? Who him is?
Next you want to grab some 22 gauge nichrome and straighten it out. We're going to be making some outer frames for the staple coil that we just finished. So now I'm going to be bending an L into the outer frames and lining them up and measuring them and cutting them to the same exact length as the staple coil that we already have made. And this is what it looks like up close. Hey, how you doing? So now I'm going to be attaching these 3 wires nice and tight into our coil jig, and then applying a jacket clip to keep everything lined up the way I want it to be sitting, so nothing overlaps each other. Now I'm going to be grabbing some more 34 gauge stainless steel, and I'm going to be claptoning all of this together. And it should be pretty good. Should be pretty good. I mean, this is a voiceover, so I've already made this coil, and I'm actually vaping on it right now, so I can tell you it's really good. This is what it looks like up close. It should be really shiny and wide, and it's a cool looking coil. Now you want to grab 2 screwdrivers and place them in a vise, and we're going to be bending this really difficult to bend wire around these 2 screwdrivers, which may look simple on video, but boy is this wire difficult to bend. So I'm going to be doing 4 wraps around all of these screwdrivers, and don't worry, they look pretty gross when I do it in just a second. Like they're not the best looking wraps, but fear not, they're going to be fixed with heat, and it'll be okay. It'll be all right. After I get some ugly looking wraps, I am going to parallel this with some 22 gauge nichrome. Same nichrome we just used for the outer frames in our crazy coil concoction. And that parallel will make it so that that 22 gauge heats up first and our thicker wire heats up second. That 22 gauge is going to ramp up really quick and give us a lot of vapor production right off of the bat, when the thicker wire won't get hot to the same intensity. And it will bring in an incredible amount of flavor. So a lot of our vapor production right off of the bat is coming from that 22 gauge. Now I'll just apply it here in our postless deck configuration on the Titan, and yeah, when in smooth, let's start the old time lapse. With my crazy staple extravaganza coil, I am vaping on some Razzle Dazzle. I'm vaping on some Razzle Dazzle from our friends over at Budget Vapors. This is a juice that This is a juice that I tried up at Soulfest. I actually filmed my first impression of me trying that, but that video hasn't come out yet. But I'm just gonna tell you right now, Razzle Dazzle, if you liked their America flavor or their cherry limeade flavor, I hate to admit it because America and cherry limeade are 2 of my favorites, but I'm sorry, Razzle Dazzle I think is a better juice, and you get away with saying Razzle Dazzle all the time. Razzle Dazzle should be a juice that you're just razzle-dazzling about. So if you'd like to get this juice, I'm sorry, razzle-dazzle is just such a funny thing to say. If you'd like to get this juice and many, many more of my favorite flavors, there's a 15% off promo code down in the description below where you can get some razzle-dazzle. And over on budgetvapors.com, you can also get my full juice line, which includes 3 flavors that are available in 60 mils and 120 mils, and they are absolutely delicious. Picking up my juice line and using my promo code really goes to help support the channel, so thank you to everyone who picks up juice using my promo code or picks up my juice line, and thank you to Budget Vapors. You guys really put you guys put the razzle dazzle into vaping. It's very late at night when I film these videos. I always film these videos so late at night. Anyways, thank you, Budget Vapors. Thank you, everyone. Let's vape some razzle dazzle. So I'm running my Titan RDA on top of the Vaptio Super Bat, which I'm going to be talking about later on in an upcoming video. But solid mod, and I got it sitting at 150 watts. Cheers, everybody. I think the flavor production is I don't know, man. The flavor is so rich. It's so accurate. It's so dense, and it's just, ooh. Hang on. I forgot to tell you what this ohmed out at. My finished build ohmed out at a 0.1 0.15. But yeah, like I'm saying, vapor production is ridiculous because it's a relatively low ohm build. I'm running at a high wattage, there's a ton of wire, but the flavor, I mean, you have a staple coil inside of a dual fuse Clapton, and it is so unbelievably rich. The flavor is just, whoa! The flavor is so rich also because there's so many different metals being used. I'm using Kanthal, I'm using nichrome, I'm using stainless steel, and they're all working together. And when you put the three forces of metal together, it's always so rich. I just love working with all three of them together. It's just wonderful. And because this is on the Titan, I can just unscrew this, put it into tank mode, fill it up with some razzle dazzle, and then take this on the go with me and vape like this all day long. So I mean, the build capabilities of this are endless, and we only use the postless deck. There's still the velocity deck, there's still the neutral pin. That was just with the stock postless deck. So I think that about wraps things up here for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button while you're at it. Let me know how you feel about this coil build down in the description below. Let me know how you feel about the Titan RDTA. Have you picked one up yet? If not, why not? I saw a bunch of people in the Light Designs Facebook group have been getting Titans. I think that's really awesome because now we can like share this love of this atomizer together. We're all in this together, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.